Hofstra and Oklahoma in this early game. Hofstra and Baylor in the middle game to allow the visitors from Long Island to get to their flight and get out of town. And then Baylor and Oklahoma will round out the day. Everything pushed back an hour because of the cold, but warm enough now at least to get out there and play. Everybody's still cold, I'm sure, but warmer than it was an hour ago. And an opportunity for us to see for the first time Peyton Monticelli, the junior for Oklahoma, transferring in from Wisconsin, her second year with the Sooners. Her first start here in 2025 out of Cedarburg, Wisconsin. She's a young woman that, at least according to Patty Gasso, can really bring the heat.
Yeah, she is known for really eating up relief innings for these OU Sooners, and was a vital part of their national championship run last year. And seeing her start this morning, it's not unusual, but it's definitely not the norm for what Coach Gasso likes to use with her pitching lineup. So great to see her just mixing it up, and get to see how long she goes in this game.
18 appearances, just one start a year ago. Finished off 12 of their games for the Sooners in 2024. But today, in the circle to get things rolling for the Sooners, she will face the Hofstra lineup, ready to get started here in this top of the first inning. And Chelsea Villar, the center fielder, to lead things off. This is a Hofstra lineup that came to life a bit last night after being blanked in their first two games of the year. Scored 3 runs in the second inning to take a 3-0 lead on Baylor. Scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning to nearly come back on the Baylor Bears last night. Came up a run short, but they'll look to try and keep those good vibes going today as they take on Monticelli.
Absolutely, and Villar was a huge piece of that, going 2 for 2 last night with 2 of those RBIs. So really sets the table for this team, and Coach Clark definitely looks to her as a leader in this leadoff spot.
Villar, the center fielder today, center fielder for each of the first now 4 games of the year for the Pride. Played in 44 games, started 31 a year ago. This year, as you mentioned, off to a very nice start, batting .429 coming into the day. Hofstra out of the CAA, the Coastal Athletic Association. One of the top programs in the CAA historically. The throw as that one is high and inside for Monticelli and hits Chelsea Villar, and the Pride have a base runner to start this one off.
She wasn't awake this morning. She is now. That one had to hurt right off the shoulder there. Whew. Pitch just got a little away from Monticelli there.
Good morning to you as well, Peyton. High and tight. And that'll bring Dalia Palacio to the plate. Palacio, the first baseman, trying to drop down the bunt. Squirts foul. The Pride, 13-time conference champs. They were a powerhouse under Bill Edwards a couple decades ago. From 2002 to 2013, every year won at least the regular season or tournament championship in what was once upon a time the Colonial Athletic Association. They have not been able to find the same level of success, though, since Edwards left the program. Adrienne Clark, their head coach, now played for Edwards, was part of that 2003 team that was fantastic for the Pride. So she's trying to kind of recapture some of the magic that her former head coach brought to the table.
Yeah, I think that's a great start by Hofstra AD to get an alum in there that really cares for the school and the program and has had a lot of success as a player.
She was a terrific two-way player for the Pride during her playing career. That one is outside to Palacio, and the count is evened up at 2-2. Edwards is 80 years old now, retired down to Florida, but earlier this spring, winter still, as that one is hit well, but high in the air over right field. Ella Parker underneath it. No, it's up against the wall. Parker couldn't get underneath it. And sliding into third is Villar, Dalia Palacio. As Parker seemed to lose that one in the wind, a double for Palacio, and Hofstra's got second and third with nobody out.
Yeah, this looks like your typical just easy fly ball for outfield, but you see the wind just keep carrying it. Parker just really flies into the wall there as the wind just kept on taking it. So now you've got 2 runners in scoring position with no outs. Which yesterday in this OU Hofstra game, that was a big piece of it, was they would get base runners on, but they would already be down 2 outs. And so it's really hard to do something as an offense there. So this is a great start and improvement for them already, as we've got runners in scoring position this early and no outs. So top of your lineup is really setting the table for what's to come.
So Anna Butler steps in now, yet to record a hit this season, but one of their two-way players over the course of the last couple of years, pitcher and designated player. An opportunity here with runners on second and third and nobody out against the third-ranked Sooners.
See the OU infield pulled in. Well, I guess you can't see it currently, but they are a little bit pulled in. Really, I would expect them to go for the runner if she tries to go home on any type of ball in play.
Monticelli delivering the 1-1. Isabella Emmerling behind the plate today for Oklahoma. Ready and waiting for a throw home. With Villar, the center fielder, 60 feet away from what Hofstra hopes is their first run of the year against Oklahoma. Big swing and a miss from Butler for strike 2. I mentioned Bill Edwards, the former Hofstra coach. He's 80 years old now, retired down to Florida. But Hofstra lost an assistant coach before the season, right before the season was set to begin. And Adrienne Clark reached out to her former coaches. That one is swung on and missed by Anna Butler for strike 3 and the first out of the day, bringing Mackenzie Fitzgerald to the plate. Another look at the strikeout here.
Yeah, great job by Monticelli just coming back in after some big noise, right, by this offense early. Big out there.
Hit hard, but foul off the bat of Fitzgerald stepping in. Fitzgerald, the third baseman. .250 batting average to start off the year. But yeah, so Edwards jumped in and helped them start off their season for like just the first week.
Love it.
He's 80 years old. It's been 15 years now, a dozen years anyway, since he stepped away from it all. But he was in the area and was able to help out a little bit. So there he was at 80 years old, helping them run drills and get their season rolling as they were an assistant coach down.
That is awesome.
Still part of the fabric of that Hofstra softball program for sure. And I'm sure he's, if he's watching right now, he's liking what he's seeing from the Pride as they start off well here against Oklahoma, hunting an early run in the top of the first. The 1-1 from Monticelli. Bunt is down. They'll come home with it. Not in time. Sliding in safe is Villar. And Hofstra takes the lead.
Really great execution there of a squeeze bunt. See the runner take off as the pitch is going, and the pitch really in a great location for that bunt. Didn't rise enough, probably not as much as Monticelli would have liked to have seen. Great lead there by Villar. Great job just getting down. There was no chance to get that.
Just not enough heat on the bunt.
Yeah, really great execution there by Hofstra offense.
McEnroe Marinas charged hard on it, but couldn't quite scoop it home to Emmerling in time. And Hofstra jumps out to a 1-0 advantage. Game number 1 of 3 today on the third and final day of the Getterman Classic. Hofstra and Baylor played Friday night, a 7-0 Baylor win. We told you earlier about Oklahoma's 8-0 win in 5 innings against Hofstra yesterday morning. Middle game of the day was the first Baylor-Oklahoma matchup of the day. Oklahoma going to the long ball in a 9-1 win. 3 homers, including a grand slam in that win to run rule Baylor. And then an exciting one last night. The most excitement we've really seen so far this weekend in that 8-7 Baylor win over Hofstra last night here at Getterman Stadium. A play at second base. The throw from the outfield getting a lot of Morse just in time at second base to end what was a 4-run rally for the Pride in the top half of that 7th inning, as they came up 1 run short of evening things up with the Baylor Bears.
And if you ask Hofstra, she was not out at second base.
No question about it. I talked with their head coach, Adrienne Clark, before the game, saw a couple of their players as they were warming up in Baylor's indoor facility just adjacent to the stadium. And I asked them exactly that. I said, so was Morse out at second base? And in chorus, no!
Resounding.
Not that they were biased in any way, shape, or form in their opinion, but...
Of course not.
I'm sure they're fired up for another crack at Baylor, though, here in a couple hours' time.
Yeah. Well, they've come out with some fire this morning. This is a great start for them, and yeah, really encouraged. They've just the jumps and strides they've made over this weekend as we've gotten to see them is really impressive.
Tyler Douglas at the plate now with runners on first and third, just the 1 out in the inning. A 2-1 count against the sophomore. Hofstra jumped out to a 3-0 lead on Baylor last night before the Bears reeled him in. Stab at a bunt attempt there from Douglas goes foul, and now the count runs even 2-2.
Yeah, yesterday we had made comments during the broadcast that we were surprised to see Hofstra not go to more of a short game approach or even try. I don't know if they squared to bunt once yesterday against OU, and here we are in the first inning, and we're seeing it from 2 players at least already. So they're definitely making adjustments from a coaching standpoint, from a player's standpoint, and you're seeing it pay off as they scratch a run across the board here really early against OU.
Douglas fouls off the 2-2 offering against a pitcher in Peyton Monticelli, who was terrific against right-handed hitters a year ago, giving up just a 136 batting average, 19 strikeouts in 53 plate appearances against righties a year ago. Looking to get out of an early jam here in Waco. The 2-2 sent back towards shortstop. The play is to first. They'll trade a run for an out. Hofstra takes a 2-0 advantage on the ground out by Douglas, but it is 2-0 Pride.
Yeah, great job by Barker there, the shortstop getting an out. It's a really tough slow roller on the infield, just out of Monticelli's reach, and enough for Short to have to charge pretty hard and not really have a chance at that double play. So really kind of a smart hit there by number 7, Tyler Douglas, for the second out.
So 2 outs in the inning. Is stepping in for the Pride is Victoria Frobacillo. The true freshman starting each of the first 4 games of the year now for the Pride. Fans at the 0-1 and falls behind quickly here against Monticelli. Mackenzie Fitzgerald, the runner at second base for the Pride. She drove in the first run of the day with her single a moment ago. But a rather shocking start here for the 4-time defending national champions against 0-3 Hofstra. 2-0 Pride here in the first. Another one wasted there by Monticelli. It's 2-2.
We gave them some cold weather, and they felt right at home. So that had to have been the turning factor for them, right?
They're certainly used to it. I don't think anybody wants to be playing softball up on Long Island right now. The 2-2. Count runs full.
Yeah, my recruiting days, I drew a line horizontally across the United States and said, this is my equator. I will play softball to the south of this equator. And unfortunately, New York was not below the equator for me.
Big swing and a miss for strike 3 for Frobacillo, but Hofstra plates 2 in the top half of the first. They lead 2-0 over Oklahoma as the Sooners come to bat. The 4-time defending national champion Oklahoma Sooners set to come to the plate here in the bottom of the first, and they will face Hofstra pitcher Haley Venturini, the senior out of North Scituate had a terrific high school career at Scituate. Now in the circle, facing one of the most potent lineups in the country. Abigail Dayton, the center fielder, to lead things off here for the Sooners as they look to respond to an early start for the Pride. They trail 2-0 as they come to the plate. Venturini's first offering in their first right. If you look at the Oklahoma batting order, Dayton, Parker, Sanders, Pickering. That trio, Parker, Sanders, Pickering, super dangerous.
Very.
This is a whole new era for the Oklahoma Sooners. Their senior core that led those 4 straight championships graduated and on to their real lives now, and Patty Gasso's team now needs to kind of circle the wagons and figure out what they're going to look like in this new era. But when you have Parker and Pickering that were so fantastic last year as freshmen to, in their own right, kind of lead the way to that 4th championship, that's a really good way to kind of tie those two ends together.
Absolutely. Ella Parker is just a phenom. She has been amazing, and she really is the anchor. And of course, you've got Cassidy as well. So, I mean, 2 underclassmen leading this team offensively, and just can't say enough good things about them. And Coach Gasso would agree. But yeah, 14 new faces for this OU squad, and some big shoes to fill. I'm sure they feel some of that pressure for sure.
The 3-1, that looks like it clipped Abigail Dayton. Whether it did or not, it would have been ball 4, and down to first base goes the Sooners center fielder.
Number 5, Ella.
If it did clip her, that was a lot nicer of a pluck than Chelsea Villar for Hofstra got this morning.
It does officially go in the books as a walk, so they'll say it didn't quite catch the shoulder of Abigail Dayton. But with a runner on, here comes Ella Parker. Hit a 2-run homer yesterday. Chops this one foul.
She had 2 2-run homers yesterday.
Yeah, 1 against Hofstra, 1 against Baylor.
She had 2 in the first Hofstra
2
game.
yeah.
Yes, and I mean, she's just on fire. Look at that 655 batting average. That is a video game number, my friends. That is unreal.
Lays off the 0-1 and sees the count run even. Preseason All-SEC Parker is, after that fantastic freshman campaign, a top 3 finalist for Freshman of the Year. Chops the 1-1. I think she fouled it off herself. Home plate umpire Jonathan Dewhurst says it'll be a 1-2 count. Ella Parker a year ago slashed .415, .516, .722 and hit 13 homers. 62 RBI. Most outstanding player at the Big 12 championships. Just a phenomenal freshman year.
Yeah, not many can say they've had a better start to their collegiate career than Ella Parker. It's been fun to watch just as a fan in general.
And only just beginning for Parker, Pickering. The young talent that Patty Gasso has brought in to stock the shelves for the Sooners is fantastic.
Yeah, even her freshman class, she's got quite a few of them in the lineup today. They've been a fun bunch. This weekend in particular, Sydney Barker has been a standout to me as I watch the games offensively and defensively. She's been very impressive.
The 2-2 from Venturini. Hit hard, sliding down the left field line, slicing away from the left fielder Douglas. Rounding third is Dayton, and she'll score. Ball gets away, and Parker's going to scoot to third. An RBI double from Parker. The error will give her another bag. And just like that, Oklahoma has cut the lead in half.
Yeah. Really great piece of hitting here. You see her just throw her hands to the outside of this ball, take it right down the left field line. Really beautiful hitting. Abigail Dayton getting a great jump there, able to score from first. Really great speed, and again, just the savvy for Ella Parker to see this ball get away from third and take her opportunity. Now you've got no outs, runner on third with your number 3 hole up.
And Sydney Sanders comes to the plate. Played a major role in each of the last 2 national championships for the Sooners. She had the go-ahead 3-run double in Game 2 of the College World Series final against Texas to give the Sooners the lead for good on their way to the clinching win. Quickly ahead 2-0 here against Venturini. 3-0. Sooners with an opportunity this year to join a truly elite class of champions if they can string together a 5th straight. 3 and 4 we've seen a number of times. You get to 5 in a row, that is a completely different category and far more rare. You got to go 60s Celtics, 50s Yankees, UCLA basketball in the 60s and 70s. UNC women's soccer went 9 straight. That's the longest run I could find, mid-80s to mid-90s. They went 9 straight in women's soccer. They can join that kind of classification as that one is fanned on by Sanders.
Yeah, that's truly a league of their own. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around 4. I mean, I think that is just amazing. And I feel like every one of those years they were doubted, or there was just commentary of why they wouldn't do it or why they shouldn't. And they proved everybody wrong each year.
Sanders draws the walk on the full count. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, a run already in for Oklahoma. And here comes Cassidy Pickering, the other half of that fantastic freshman duo a year ago for the Sooners. And Adrienne Clark wants to talk with Haley Venturini.
Yeah, she's looking to her bullpen. I don't quite think she'll pull her just yet. Yesterday, Haley Venturini came in relief against OU, and she did a great job. She was out most of last year with an injury and really did a great job yesterday coming in and settling this OU offense down. They didn't score more than 2 runs in an inning, which is pretty unheard of against this offense. And so having some trouble this morning with control issues and just leaving them a little over too much of the wide of the plate.
See Emma Fallon warming up for the Pride, the junior pitcher. She has seen her fair share of action this weekend as well, as Venturini has struggled here in the early going. Still no outs in the inning. And Pickering coming to the plate. Freshman All-American in 24. All-tournament team at the College World Series. She and Parker, the first freshman duo at Oklahoma with 10+ homers and 50+ RBIs in the same season.
Wow. Yeah, 50+ RBIs for anybody is quite the accomplishment. Really puts you in an elite category of hitters, and just true testament to, the skill and talent that you have.
A prime opportunity for Pickering to drive in some more runs here. Drops down the bunt right in front of the plate.
Wow.
Ranging back, they did not get the tag. Parker slides in safe at home, and we're tied.
So we've seen 2 squeeze bunts, and we're only in the 1st inning, everybody. Really beautiful bunt. In this situation, you would like to have seen it go a little bit further away from the plate. It was clearly still effective with Parker getting in there, getting that great jump off third. Really difficult.
Parker slides in safe, no challenge from Hofstra, 2-2. Pickering driving in a run. She hit the ball maybe 1.5 feet and drives in the 2nd run of the day for Oklahoma.
Yeah, yesterday in this OU Hofstra game, Hofstra ran into a situation where they used their challenge early, and they really could have used it later in the game. And so I'm sure Coach Clark's feeling a little gun shy with that, not wanting to use it this early, just for the unknown of what's to come in this game.
Another bunt down. McEnroe Marinas thrown out at first. Hofstra's got their first out of the inning, but now 2nd and 3rd for the Sooners. And you mentioned Sydney Barker earlier, how dangerous and how good she has looked as a freshman here early on in this season for the Sooners. She steps in with runners at second and third.
Yeah, great sack bunt there by Nelly, moving the runners over, and now you've got a hitter that's had a hot bat this weekend. So great thinking there by Coach Gasso to just really set up Sydney here for some RBI production.
Barker hitting .364 on the year.
She hasn't started every game. She's found her way into most of their games this season, but she is really fighting for, after this weekend, I'm sure she is just really making her case to be a starter in this really difficult lineup to crack.
Speaks to the recruiting that Patty Gasso and her staff do, that they are able to bring in class after class after class of freshmen that, hey, we're ready right now.
Yeah.
Two outside the zone quickly here to Barker.
Yeah, if you're Venturini right now, really need to be careful with, where you put this ball, and got to be careful.
That one's hit well to right, up in the air. Camping underneath it is Frobacillo. She'll fire home, not in time, and Oklahoma's got the lead.
Sac fly by Barker brings in Sid Sanders. Great piece of hitting there, going opposite field, getting a run in.
Pickering advances as well to third. 2 outs in the inning, and Ailana Agbayani, the second baseman, steps in for the Sooners. 7th Oklahoma batter of the inning as they look to continue the rally. 2 runs in the top of the first for Hofstra. Already Oklahoma has erased that lead and taken it for themselves.
They didn't quite like that deficit. What do you think?
Not commonplace for Oklahoma to trail, period. Agbayani sends this one into center. That will get over Villar's head and up against the wall. Another run is home. The throw from Villar cuts off Agbayani to a single, but another run across. Pickering scores, and it's 4-2.
This is one of the longest singles you'll ever see. Really beautiful swing there, just driving it right back up the middle. I mean, it's a line shot off a 220 wall there. That fence is in, or that wall's just a little bit lower. That ball's out of here.
And that will do it for Hofstra pitcher Haley Venturini. Emma Fallon will come on in relief. Just 2 outs in the inning and a 4-2 Oklahoma lead. Fallon, the transfer from UC Riverside. She spent a year there out of Folsom, California. She will come on for Adrienne Clark and try to steady the waters for the Pride.
She's going to challenge you. She's going to challenge us with fastballs right here, but it's not like this.
Terrific start here in the bottom of the first for the Oklahoma Sooners. Abigail Dayton got on with a walk. Ella Parker doubled and scored. Sydney Sanders walked and scored. Cassidy Pickering singled, drove in a run, came around to score. Nellie McEnroe-Marinas dropped down the sack bunt to advance the runner. Sydney Barker with a sack fly to score another run. And now Ailana Agbayani with a single and an RBI. And it is 4-2 in favor of the Oklahoma Sooners. Dayton, Parker, Sanders, and Pickering, the 4 to score for Oklahoma in the inning. And Isabella Emmerling looks to keep it going. The catcher. Running and sliding in safely is Agbayani. Throw was a bit to the first base side from Gemma D'Orazio. The Oklahoma dugout serenading Isabella Emmerling as she waits on the 1-1. Pops this one up over Frobiscillo and right, and that'll end the first inning. 4 runs across for the Sooners. The 4-time defending. Former Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield has been known to wear a shirt that reads Gasso equals GOAT for that woman right there. Patty Gasso, 31st year at Oklahoma, 8 national championships to her name, including, of course, the last 4 in a row. If she's not the very best to ever do it, she's on a very, very, very short list. She has built a monster in Norman.
Absolutely. Look at that record, 1,500 wins. I mean,
crazy.
Absolutely one of the best to ever do it.
And now taking on a whole new challenge in the SEC, in a conference that is viciously deep this year. Texas, Florida, and Oklahoma, the top 3 teams in the national rankings, all from the same conference. The 4-time defending national champions not picked to win their own conference this year.
Right. Yeah, the SEC is a beast this year. It'll be fun to watch, and even more interesting to see how things shake out in the postseason.
Alana Morse stepping in and cranking this one to the alley in left center. That's over the wall and gone. Alana Morse. And the Pride cut the lead in half.
Yeah, she got all of that ball. That was a beautiful swing. Monticelli provided the heat. So she, let's see. Yeah, she left that right down the heart of Broadway. Great leverage there, drives it out. Beautifully left center field.
Wind is swirling here today, but at least at the moment, it is seeming to be directed out towards center field. That one got up in the wind and carried. And Alana Morse, the young woman who was thrown out at second base last night in the Hofstra Baylor game. Controversially, if you ask the Hofstra dugout. Right. Her first opportunity back on the diamond here today, and she took advantage of it. Deposits that one in the parking lot, and it's 4-3.
Yeah, she's had a great start to the season offensively, and puts her first home run on the stat line today.
So Nicole Cancel, the second baseman, steps in now. Takes a couple in a row outside the zone for Monticelli.
Coach Roca coming out to talk to Peyton.
We talked about it earlier. This is not uncharted territory for Monticelli, but certainly not her norm. Right. She was more of a relief pitcher a year ago, finished off a dozen games for Oklahoma in 2024. Only 1 start in her 18 appearances, so she's a bit of a fish out of water today, and then trying something that they're probably going to need her to do more of this year as they try to replace some of the talent they lost off of last year's roster.
Definitely. And you look at, I mean, we're in the second weekend of the season, and you're still messing with lineups. You're still trying to figure out what's the groove, who's my starters, and it is a different pitching lineup for this OU squad. So really trying to figure out, what works and who's best where.
Big swing and a miss from Cancel. And a 2-1 count. Cancel, the primary starter at second base a year ago for the Pride, will be once again here in 2025, each of the first 4 games of the season. Takes that one outside and a 3-1 count. Gemma D'Orazio, the Hofstra catcher, on deck. And she'll come to the plate as Cancel draws a walk. D'Orazio yet to record a hit this season. The freshman starting at catcher today. Her first start of the year. It's only her second at bat of the season right here, and she takes strike one. Squared to bunt. Quick throw down to first to check. Diving back to the bag was canceled. Throw not in time for Sanders to apply the tag. The 1-1 from Monticelli, lifted foul back over top of us. Two and two.
Yeah, we already see that pitch count for Monticelli climbing just a little bit. She's at 40 pitches, and we're only in the second inning. So I'm sure part of that conversation with Coach Rocco a while ago was, hey, we've got to be a little more efficient with our pitch counts. We're working things a little deeper than we probably would like to see this early. Like I said, another full count here. Really important to get an out. This pitch.
Emmerling tried to frame that 2-2 offering, but the count does run full. Fouled off, and we'll do it again.
Yeah, and you'll see regardless of what happens with the batter here, the runner on first will be taken off. You got 2 outs and a full count, so something is going to happen.
Morse led off the inning with the home run. Cancel with the walk rather. That is swung on and missed by D'Orazio for out number 1 of the inning.
I'm so sorry. I thought we had 2 outs for some reason. I'm operating off 2 out. I'm like, what are we doing? Forgive me, viewers.
Back to the top of the order goes Hofstra and Villar, who was hit by a pitch to open this thing up in the top of the first. Patty Gasso wants to talk with Monticelli.
Looks like we'll get a new pitcher coming in.
We will indeed see Audrey Lowry step into the circle. The true freshman will take over for Monticelli, who leaves with just 1 out here in the top of the second. Lowry will take over for Oklahoma, who's given up 3 here in the early going against a Hofstra team that they blanked yesterday 8-0 in a run rule in 5 innings. Today, a different affair to this point. So Lowry takes over. Yet another true freshman for Oklahoma, who's coming in off of a terrific high school career. The 2024 Indiana Gatorade Softball Player of the Year. She has already seen some time early this season. Set to make her 3rd appearance here in a matter of moments. Rather sterling strike to walkout ratio so far this year. She'll inherit Nicole Cancel at first base as Hofstra goes back to the top of the order in Chelsea Villar. This is weekend number 2 of the softball season for both Baylor and Oklahoma. First weekend of the year for Hofstra. When you're early on in the season and still kind of feeling your way through who you are as a team, how do you approach these moments where things are maybe not going exactly as you thought they were going to? Like, if you're Oklahoma right now, this is probably not the game they thought they were going to have right now. How do you circle the wagons right now?
Yeah, I think it's important to just be realistic about where you are and know, hey, I would hope we're not the same team today that we are in June, right? And so knowing it's a journey to get there, we've got to kind of work through some bumps and bruises and ups and downs, and really trying to find your groove. I think Coach Gasso does a great job of mixing lineups, getting players innings at bats. Yesterday we saw her do, 3 pinch hitters in a row, and so really important to just keep in mind where you're at and know that this is not the final product for later in the season.
Villar was hit by a pitch to start off the game, takes strike 2 there and falls behind quickly, 0-2. 1 out in the inning and cancel on first. A run across already in the inning for Hofstra on the Alana Morse solo home run to lead off the frame. Strike 3 and a quick strikeout for Audrey Lowry.
Yeah, Lowry came in and is all business. That's a great job, just what her defense needed. A quick out, confidence in the circle. Really great drop ball there.
Squaring to bunt was Palacio. She fouled it away. Not just a strikeout, but 1, 2, 3 pitches and sit down, Chelsea Villar.
Yeah.
Five straight strikes from Audrey Lowry since she stepped in the circle.
She is all business today. She said, give me the ball.
On a line, but right to Sanders for out number 3 of the inning. Audrey Lowry says, give me the ball indeed. But before that, Alana Morse with the solo home run to the power alley in left center. Hofstra down 1 as Oklahoma comes to the plate in the second. Adrienne Clark, the 4th-year head coach of the Hofstra Pride, a 2005 graduate of Hofstra University, played under Bill Edwards and was a key part of several CAA championship teams for the Pride, now back leading her alma mater as they trail 4-3 as we start the bottom of the second against the 4-time defending champion Oklahoma Sooners and Gabby Garcia, the designated player in today's lineup for the Sooners. Has her first turn at the plate. Drops the bunt down foul. 8 Sooners came to the plate in the first inning as they plated 4 to take the lead. Dayton and Parker due up in the frame as well as they'll cycle back to the top of the order. Emma Fallon, the pitcher, carrying over from the last inning. That one just missed inside from Fallon, and it's 2-1. Swung on and lifted over left field. Going back on it is Douglas, and she's underneath it for the first out of the frame.
Wind's given this outfield a little bit of trouble. That ball drifted a little further than I think left field was expecting out there.
It has warmed up a whole 2 degrees since we started the day off. It was 40 degrees at first pitch. We're up to 42. The wind swirling and causing everybody some fits here. Dayton square to drop down a little slap bunt. She drew a walk to start off that first inning rally for the Sooners.
Yeah, Dayton's one of the big transfers for this OU squad this year, and has been a big asset. And of course, Coach Gasso has her there in the leadoff spot, and just kind of a testament to the confidence and the type of player she is. A lot of energy, table setter. We saw her already score, doing her job that first inning. She's been a great addition to this OU lineup. Beautiful
swinging bunt and a single. Dayton aboard again.
She's making me sound good talking about her. Beautiful bunt here, gets out of the box, great. There's no chance to get her there.
So Dayton's aboard for the second straight inning, setting the table for Ella Parker, who doubled and drove in a run to get the Sooners offense started today. outside the zone from Fallon. You mentioned the transfer Dayton coming over from Utah, where she was an All-American in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge addition for this OU squad, and a lot of conference changes. I don't even know how you had Utah going from Pac-12 to Big 12, and then, or no, not the Big 12. But then now you've got OU going to the SEC. So lots of conference switches and changes, and
it is endlessly all over the place, and trying to keep tabs on who's in what conference at this point is virtually impossible. Dayton scooted down to second base on that ball that was in the dirt. That one's hit well. Parker into right field and against the wall. Dayton rounding third and will score. Another RBI double for Ella Parker. Oklahoma builds the lead.
she just does it all. She's really been loving left field this tournament. She switches it up and hits that right center gap.
A complete hitter. She has the full field at her disposal.
Great job by Dayton there. See her do a little spin turn, then head home. To correct my own mistake, Utah is now in the Big 12. I can't keep them straight.
The only reason I didn't correct you is because I was sitting here going, wait, I think she was actually right.
I was like, I know we have BYU. There's just so many switches and changes. And
when you said they were in the Big 12 and then questioned yourself, I was like, wait, I thought, are they not? Did I miss it?
That is my fault. I'm confusing everybody today.
It is not you. It is college presidents and athletic directors that are responsible for that.
Right.
If all of y'all would stay put for just a minute.
Help me out here.
Endlessly all over the place. Colleges transferring conferences just like players are transferring schools. It is impossible to keep up.
It really is.
2-1 count here for Sanders. Inside for ball 3.
Yes, Sid Sanders was a transfer from not this year, but previously.
Came in from Arizona State.
Yes, yes. Another now Big 12 school.
Yes.
I know that one.
They came in and won a football championship right out the gates and went to the college football playoff.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. you gotta earn there's gotta be a rite of passage, right?
They earned it awfully quick. They earned it faster than anybody else around the Big 12 would have wanted.
Yeah.
Inside, and Sanders draws the walk. First and second now for Oklahoma as Cassidy Pickering steps in once again. She singled and drove in a run in the first.
Yeah, equally to the SEC, I do think the Big 12 softball is going to be a tough schedule and a lot of exciting games. And I think just across the landscape of college softball in general, there's just so many good teams and competitive lineups out there. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, the Big 12 in softball just opened wide open with Texas and Oklahoma both departing for the SEC. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Baylor, Arizona, all licking their chops with an opportunity to go win a conference championship. And that will be fun to watch. Those four, you know, maybe throw a fifth in there. I mean, there's some really good teams at the top of the Big 12 that are all going to be jockeying for position this season.
Absolutely. We've seen some teams make some big changes, like Texas Tech. They've got the new coach. They've got the big pickup with the Player of the Year, Nyjah Kennedy, and a lot of those transfers from Lafayette. I mean, it's going to be, people are ready. We're ready. And of course, you'll continue to have all eyes on OU as they tread through the new SEC schedule and Texas too.
Yeah.
Be a tough, fun season ahead.
Texas atop the rankings here early on in the season. You see there on your screen, Oklahoma picked third in the preseason poll. I got to imagine Patty Gasso saw that and went, Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I know. We were talking about it yesterday. We were like, maybe it's, maybe they got those votes based on just the unknown and 14 new faces. But
Sure.
At this point, I'm like, Patty Gasso is not unknown. She is very well established that it doesn't matter what team you give her, she will be successful in, which is a part of why she's recently named the USA Women's Softball Coach and will coach in the 28 Olympics in LA.
Douglas coming in on this one and makes the catch. Pickering retired, and there's 2 outs in the inning.
Number 2, Ellen McEnroe.
See, Nelly had the bunt last time. Sack bunt, moved runner over. Now gets the opportunity to likely swing away here, and she will.
Lifts it over first base, calling off and making the catch is the second baseman Cancel, and the side is retired. Ella Parker with an RBI double in the frame, and Oklahoma doubles the lead 5-3 after 2 here in Waco. Now that is a hat. I like that getup.
That is.
That is how you come prepared for a 42-degree day worth of softball. I like that. First of 3 here in Waco, the final day of the Getterman Classic. A 1:30 start. Now the scheduled start time, that's Central Time, and 4 o'clock Central Time, the late game. As on a line, quickly retired was Anna Butler. And there's 1 away here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, quick work there by the OU defense. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Everything pushed back an hour because of the cold this morning. Wind chill, the official reason given. I don't blame them. It was bitter cold as we were walking into Getterman Stadium this morning. Not much warmer now, but a little bit. Mackenzie Fitzgerald drove in one of Hofstra's first inning runs and steps in now, looking for another base hit. One and 2. Fouled off herself, and they'll do the 1-2 over again.
I am looking across the softball scores for the morning, and a shocking one just popped up of Virginia hitting a walk-off against number 4 UCLA.
How about that?
So just another testament to just this year's competitive landscape in college softball.
Fitzgerald swings and misses for strike 3, quickly 2 away here in the top of the 3rd. It's a different landscape this year, especially when you do consider the realities of Oklahoma. As talented as they are, it's not the collection of talent that they had a year ago that was so veteran, that was so daunting to face. When you list off some of the seniors, they had Jada Coleman, Tiare Jennings, Kinsey Hansen, Riley Boone, Nicole May. That group was just utterly dominant.
Yep.
Those faces aren't around anymore for Oklahoma, and though there are plenty of talented players still on the roster for Patty Gasso, certainly led by Parker and Pickering, but Sydney Sanders, a senior, probably the senior leader this year for Oklahoma. Yep. They've still got plenty of talent. It is still a little bit of, okay, are they still fully that Oklahoma? We all have to kind of wait and see. So everybody, UCLA, certainly Florida, certainly Texas, a number of programs around the country saying, hey, our turn.
Yep. Absolutely. And 14 new faces for any coach, for any team. I mean, that's a lot. I think they kept Tiare Jennings around as a grad assistant, so you may see her in the dugout, hanging out somewhere. And I'm sure she's just a great addition to that coaching staff. And as a player, I would be just very grateful to have her in the dugout to help teach me and learn from. And
what a sounding board.
Yeah. Just awesome career. That whole senior class you just mentioned, really one of the greats.
Coleman and Jennings in particular, though, that duo.
1-2 punch.
Swing and a miss for strike 3 for Douglas, and Hofstra retired 1-2-3. To the bottom of the third, to the top of the fourth we go. No, bottom of the third. Whatever inning we're in, it'll be after this. Someone has informed me that it's the bottom of the third here in Waco as Oklahoma comes back to the plate. 5-3 advantage for the Sooners. You see them there, number 3 in the current ESPN.com USA softball poll. As Sydney Barker takes ball 1. Beg your pardon, that did catch the bottom part of the zone. Strike 1 from Emma Fallon. Talent across the country is deep this year, and it's going to be fun to watch as the spring progresses who really does rise to the top.
Definitely, and a lot of them are finding each other early in this this preseason, which is great. You've got Coach Moore of Baylor really seeking out having OU come, and they chase the competition essentially. You've got another top 10 matchup today with Texas and Texas Tech, and people just trying to, strengthen those schedules and jump up in RPI for when time comes for those hosting spots that your name gets called. But the interesting thing now, and there's a ton of respect between Coach Gasso and Coach Moore, and it's great that they're playing so early, but now you're at risk for either team to be sent to their regional. Here we go, high fly, carrying
up off the wall. Barker rounding second. And she'll slide in safely with a leadoff triple. And Oklahoma starts strong here in the third.
It's her second triple of the weekend. Again, the wind is just really messing with these outfielders here. You'll see it get high. Doesn't look like it's going to carry too much, and then you see center just keep drifting until you run into the wall. Yeah, that's a tough play out there. Great job by Barker. Just turn the wheels on, get to 3.
What a start to her Oklahoma career for Sydney Barker, especially this weekend here in Waco. And she sets the table for Ailana Agbayani. She had the final run-scoring hit in that 4-run first inning for the Sooners. Takes strike 1. Hofstra scored a pair in the top of the first. Oklahoma responded with 4 in the bottom half. A run apiece from each team in the second inning. Hofstra blanked. They went down 1-2-3 in the third. And now Oklahoma threatening already here in the bottom half of this third frame. Bayani on the ground to second. Hofstra will trade the out for a run, and Oklahoma plates another. Sydney Barker creating a run almost by her lonesome. 6-3 Oklahoma.
And not the prettiest hit there, but effective. Anything that will scratch a run across the plate is a good at bat.
So Emmerling, the catcher, steps in. Flew out to right field in the first. Chop to third. Fitzgerald across the diamond, 2 away.
And we haven't said much about Emma Fallon, this Hofstra pitcher, but she's done a great job of keeping the ball low. We've seen a few pop flies that have just carried, but overall she's not getting a ton of solid hits from this OU offense, which is a positive for this Hofstra defense.
First lineup change of the day for Oklahoma. Tia Malloy will come on and hit for Gabby Garcia in the 9-hole. Malloy, another true freshman that has made her presence felt in the early going this season. bases clear with 2 outs in the frame for Malloy. If that last name sounds familiar, if you're a football fan, Lawyer Malloy of the New England Patriots, a Super Bowl champion back at the front end of this century. Super Bowl 36 champion with the Patriots. That's her father.
I believe her mom is an athlete as well. I believe she was track and field and...
Oh, a big-time track and field athlete at Washington, 2-time All-American.
Amazing.
Yeah, she comes from good stock.
Right? And Tia's found her place.
The 2-0 lifted to center. Coming in on it is Villar for the final out of the frame. But Oklahoma plates another and extends the lead 6-3 after 3 here in game number 1 of the final day of the Getterman Classic. Top of the 4th on its way here in Waco. Game number 1 of the final day of the Getterman Classic. And Patty Gasso, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, sharing some time with us now. Coach, a pretty solid start, certainly from the offensive perspective for your team here in the early going. What do you think of what you've seen in the first 3 innings today?
Yeah, I mean, credit Hofstra for hitting the board early, but we came back and we matched that, stepped 1 over it. We just got to we had some very well executed offensive plays. To Peyton Monticelli's point, this was her first start. She's been coming in at like 1 inning at a time. So it was a good experience for her, and what I loved is that we showed her whatever happens to you, we're fine. So we came back to score pretty quickly.
Yeah, love that. Thanks, Coach. What can we not say about Ella Parker? She is just, I'm out of words. She's amazing. Tell us a little bit about just her leadership and what she means to this team.
Yeah, she has really settled into her sophomore year, and sometimes I get a little bit concerned about freshmen that have really big freshman years and then they try to match it or overdo it. She's just got a really calm, smooth demeanor, puts a lot of time into the cages. It's just a natural, pure hitter.
Coach, my phone is telling me it's 43 degrees down there. You doing all right? You staying warm enough?
Very warm. We have a very warm dugout, so we're all good. Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Her team leads 6-3 here as we get ready to start off the 4th inning. She mentioned Peyton Monticelli, and she had some struggles right out of the gates, but to her point, listen, this is a change in expectation, a change in role for Monticelli, and listen, this is what you do in February to try and get everybody ready for when it really does matter.
Absolutely. This is the time to shake it out, get the rust off, and figure out, who you're going to be this season.
It will remain Audrey Lowry in the circle for the Sooners as we start off the 4th inning. Victoria Frobacillo.
Yeah, if we would have got to ask more questions, I would have definitely just asked about Audrey. I think she's been a great addition here and really, I would say really great things. A bright spot on this pitching staff for OU.
Can we just bring Patty Gasso in as the 3rd member of the broadcast team?
I would
and
love that.
Rip and run with her for another hour or so for the balance of the game?
Yeah, we briefly hit on it earlier, but she just got named the USA women's softball team, and she'll coach the Olympic team in LA in 28, and all the things leading up to that, and I'm shocked they're just now picking up the phone to call her. That job has seemingly had her name on it for quite a while now. But they are in great hands with her at the helm.
Frobacillo swings and misses at strike 3. Audrey Lowry starting to find a groove. That's 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, she's got a great, just quiet confidence up there. Gets right to work. Not a lot of frill, just going right at these batters.
Fouled away by Alana Morse. Morse had the solo home run to lead off the 2nd inning. Cut the lead to 4-3 at the time.
Yeah, Morse has been a hot hitter for this Hofstra lineup. It's interesting to see her down there in the 7 hole, but Coach Clark knows what she's doing out there, right? So I would be curious in the weeks to come if Alana Morse moves up in the lineup. Her and Chelsea Villar seem to really be the anchors of this offense thus far their opening weekend.
Morse chops this one to short. Quickly across the diamond for Barker, but it's one-hopped, and safe at first will be Alana Morse.
Yeah, it looks like Barker got a little bit ahead of herself. She had the time to, gather her legs and didn't quite get it there. Sid may have stretched a little early. That's a tough ball. That'll go down as an E6, though. My least favorite words as a player. E6.
It is indeed officially scored, an error on the shortstop Barker. And Morse stands on first base as Nicole Cancel steps in. Fouls off each of the first two offerings from Lowry. You mentioned Morse and the hot start she's gotten off to this year. 205 hitter a year ago, so really growing her offensive repertoire here in the early stages of 2025. Had a very nice rookie year. Freshman year, was member of the CAA All-Rookie team in 2023 as their third baseman that season. And in fact, had the only hit that Hofstra had in their matchup against Oklahoma in the NCAA tournament back in 2023, as the Pride were one hit. Cancel swings and misses. Strikeout number 2 of the inning for Audrey Lowry. DeRazio takes ball 1. She struck out in the second inning. Audrey Lowry now with 5 Ks on the day. Lifted foul, and it's 1-1.
Jim is one of only 2 freshmen in the starting lineup today for Hofstra. And she's a catcher. That's a big deal to be leading the team from behind as catcher, as a freshman.
That one's in the dirt, and Morse will scoot down to second base.
A rare pass ball there.
So an opportunity now here for DeRazio. Outside the zone for ball 3. Lowry has been very efficient so far, only 33 pitches to work her way to this point. 2 1/3 of an inning. But behind 3-1 here, that does catch the corner of the plate to run a count full. Strike 3 on the outside corner of the plate, and Lowry's got her 6th K of the day. Oklahoma out of the inning, still with a 6-3 lead. Audrey Lowry mowing them down here in Waco. Hofstra down 6-3 against number 3 Oklahoma as we start the bottom of the 4th inning, and Adrienne Clark, the Pride head coach, joins us now. Coach, a pretty good start for your team. You jump out to a 2-0 lead on Oklahoma there in the first inning. What do you like about what you've seen from your team so far today?
Yeah, I love the competitiveness to which we're playing right now, and we're having fun and we're playing free, and when you can do that, magical things happen.
Absolutely. Thanks, Coach. Tell me about Emma Fallon. She's done a great job of keeping this OU offense at bay, it feels like.
Yeah, she is totally locked in. I mean, she's actually coming in off the mound and giving me feedback on things we can do and what she feels like we can throw to different batters. So it's pretty cool when you have that she's so locked into paying attention to those things.
This is obviously a big challenge for your team coming down here facing 2 teams ranked in the top 25 all weekend long. What's the biggest takeaway you want from these 3 days that will help your team as you get into CAA play?
Yeah, learn as much as we can, swing big, and just like believe in what we're trying to create together.
Adrienne Clark, the 4th-year head coach for Hofstra. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Her team down 6-3 as we start the bottom of the 4th inning. Oklahoma coming back to the plate, and with the top of the order once again is Abigail Dayton. Gets set to step into the batter's box. Walked and scored in the first, singled in the second inning. Later came around to score. Precisely what you want from your leadoff hitter, setting the table very well here in the early going.
Yeah, this is where you want to be if you're OU offense, starting off right at the top.
One and one. Yeah, if you're Abigail Dayton, I got to imagine the message from Patty Gasso is just figure out some way to get on base, because Parker, Sanders, Pickering follow you.
Yep.
We want somebody out there. Set the table for them, and you're going to be coming home more often than not.
Yeah, good things typically happen.
Her 2 runs today, her 11th and 12th runs scored of the season. This is only the 9th game of the year for the Sooners. Slaps a bunt down, perfectly executed, and she's aboard once again.
Yeah, really good job there by Dayton, just reading the defense. You kind of see she just takes it with her, reads where the right side's playing. Let's watch it. Yeah, it really looks like she takes an outside pitch and just brings it with her. Beautiful job there, reading the defense and finding a way to get on base.
Just deadens the bat, right?
Yep.
That's a lot of the technique there.
Yep, a lot of hand control, and as a lefty slapper, you got to stay in the box too. Now we're seeing the intentional walk for Ella Parker.
I don't blame them.
I don't either. I think as you get further in the season, you're going to start seeing a lot of this for Ella.
Already with a pair of RBI doubles on the day. 4 wide ones from Emma Fallon, and there will be 2 aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, that's the Jocelyn Allo treatment. Whenever she was chasing records and hitting home runs, she got a lot of the intentional walks, which is a great respect towards her and Ella as a player, but obviously frustrating as a hitter whenever you quite literally have the bat taken out of your hands.
It speaks volumes about the way that Ella Parker has begun her career, that she's doing things that make you want to invoke the name Jocelyn Allo.
Right.
That is a mouthful.
Right. But I love what Patty Gasso said about her. Just her demeanor, her just very smooth, very confident, and just having fun out there. And that's what it's all about. See Dayton out there getting a really big lead there, potentially looking to delay steal.
Sanders squared to bunt and then had to bail out of the way of that one as the count runs even at 1-1. If people are going to walk Ella Parker, Sydney Sanders is going to have to make them pay for it. She certainly has the ability to, and she sends this one to the alley in right center, up against the wall. 1 run, comes around to score, an RBI double for Sydney Sanders.
Yeah, great job by Sid, just making Hofstra pay for the intentional walk. Really great job. Let's see. Extended hands, drive that ball right back where it's pitched off the outside of the plate. Mostly up the middle, a little bit of shading right field. As soon as Abigail Dayton sees it's down, she is bound for home.
Sanders has power, hit 21 home runs in her freshman year at Arizona State, 15 more a year ago as a junior for Oklahoma. That one to the alley, up against that 220 mark in right center, scores another run, and it's 7-3 Oklahoma. It was Abigail Dayton who came home to score, and now Pickering steps in. Still nobody out in the inning, and runners on second and third. Chopped to second, eats her up. Safe at first is Pickering as Parker comes home with another run.
Second, bobbled just a little bit, get a little bit ahead of herself, trying to field the ball, throw it first.
Our umpires are going to talk this one over a little bit further, and it looks like this may be getting a second look. Nicole Cancel at second base did bobble it, but they will take another look to see if she got the throw to first base anyway to get Pickering.
It was pretty close. Check a new angle of it. I think they got the call right.
Yeah, I think so too.
Very close, but I think it's the right call.
It's bang bang, but I think that foot is on the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a frame before. If nothing else, it's a tie, and they're not going to
Right.
change the call on that.
Right.
Close play. Good job by Cancel to at least make it that close after the bobble. But Pickering, it appears, will remain safe at first base. The run will score regardless of the ruling here, because it would only be just the first out of the inning if the call is overturned. Adrienne Clark hoping.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, I think regardless, it's a great call to challenge by Coach Clark. You kind of see OU getting a little momentum going, getting the bats rolling. Just this break in game gives Hofstra a chance to kind of regroup and breathe a little bit and get back in there and hopefully get some outs.
Patty Gasso with a chat with Sydney Sanders there at third base, as she's seen her team once again come alive offensively here in this fourth inning. They've scored runs in each frame. 4 runs in the first, a run apiece in the second and third. A couple more across here in this fourth inning.
Coach Gasso said she's got 4 battery pack heaters on her.
Yeah, she said she's got a heated socks, heated jacket, heated pants. Everything's all warmed up as much as could be.
Right. So
plus all the layers that you can see. She's doing it right.
She's feeling good down there. And the Hofstra coach just told us they're expected to get massive snowstorm this week.
Jonathan Dewhurst confirms safe at first base is Pickering. It will go down as an E4. Cancel, the second baseman, tabbed with an error. So it'll be runners on first and third. Sanders on third, Pickering on first, as Nellie McEnroe-Marinas, the third baseman, steps in. She had a sacrifice in the first inning, flew out to the second baseman in the second inning.
Yeah, last inning we talked about how Fallon has kept these OU hitters off bay, or at bay, where they're not able to put real solid contact on it. And I think we can credit the OU offense this inning. They've made adjustments, and that low ball is no longer giving them trouble. We saw Cassidy Pickering roll over one here a second ago, but we've had some really solid hits from the rest of the lineup this inning, and you're starting to see those adjustments pay off. And now if you're Hofstra, you got to kind of figure out, hey, what's the new game plan? How are we going to get the outs? They're putting the ball in play. Let's make sure that, we're taking care of the ground balls and the fly balls and things that we can control here.
Still nobody out in the inning for McEnroe-Marinas. We saw Emma Brennan, the junior, warming for Hofstra in the pen, as Fallon tries to get out of this jam, but a lot of work to do. Way inside with the 1-0. They catch in a rundown, but coming home to score is Sanders. Out between first and second is Cassidy Pickering, but Sanders comes home to score, so the ploy works for Oklahoma, and another run is across. It's 9-3.
City in the rundown. Hofstra held on to it for quite a bit, which is a great job. That's what you want to do in a rundown, is get the runner as close back to first as you can, and great job of them just making sure that they get an out. This is an inning where you definitely need to just ensure that you're getting the outs and let the run go at this point.
Good throw by DeRazio to catch Pickering leaking off first base in the first place. Morse, the shortstop, leading the charge in the rundown, and there's one away. That one is into right field for McEnroe-Marinas, her first hit of the day. And Oklahoma continues the offensive onslaught.
I love the opposite field hitting. It really shows that you're teeing the ball up on time, you're hitting it where it's pitched, and you see just great contact there.
Number 77, Sydney Barker.
A lot of these OU players do a great job of just hitting the ball where it's pitched, and you see a lot of success, of course, when you do that.
Sydney Barker hit a homer yesterday. If she were to hit one here, she would give Oklahoma the opportunity in another run rule of Hofstra. Up 8 after 5. If they could retire Hofstra in the top half of the 5th. Lifted but foul. Down the line and left. Oklahoma's senior class that just graduated and won 4 straight national championships run-ruled opponents at like a 45% clip over the course of their career. Just a ridiculous stat.
Just unheard of. The bats, I mean, you just couldn't stop the bats.
Yeah. The 0-2 delivery, that one is lifted sky high over left field. Douglas underneath it. And there's 2 outs in the inning.
That's a big out. Barker's been a hot bat this weekend for the Sooners.
She tripled and scored in the 3rd inning. But flies out here, and Ailana Agbayani steps in. Low and away for ball 1. Agbayani singled, drove in a run in that 1st inning. Grounded out to second base, but drove in a run in the 3rd. She brought Barker home after that leadoff triple. Running again is Oklahoma, and sliding in safely is McEnroe-Marinas with a stolen base.
Yeah, great jump there by Nelly. You can't see it, but it almost looks like it took the catcher by surprise. She wasn't quite prepared for the steal. Got a hitter's count here. Squared a bunt, beautifully done.
Nowhere to go with the ball for Emma Fallon. 1st and 3rd with 2 outs in the inning. Just perfectly executed by Agbayani.
Yeah, great read of the defense there. You have 3rd playing back. I mean, yes, it's typically unexpected to have that bunt on 2 outs. And as an offense, you just take advantage of reading the defense and where they're playing. If they're going to give it to you, then you go for it.
So Emmerling steps in, looking for her first hit of the day. Flew out to right in the 1st, grounded out to 3rd base in the 3rd inning. 2 outs in the frame, but runners at 1st and 3rd. Strike 1. Dayton, Parker, and Sanders already home for Oklahoma in the frame. Running again is Oklahoma. They're caught in a rundown again. Run comes home to score. Agbayani trying to get away. Finally tagged as she dove back toward the bag at first base. The run, however, will count, and it's 10-3 Oklahoma after 4. Top of the 5th inning on its way after this. After looking to scratch back a little bit here in the top of the 5th. as they bring the top of the order back to the plate. Chelsea Villar, who has scored one of the 3 runs on the day for the Pride, will lead off here in the 5th. Struck out in the 2nd inning after being hit by a pitch to open the game and later coming around to score. Audrey Lowry doing a nice job in the circle for Oklahoma today, taking over for Peyton Monticelli, and she has steadied the ship. Swing and a miss from Villar. Lowry with 6 strikeouts on the day, up to 14 strikeouts on the season. The freshman from Pittsburgh, Indiana, gets strike number 2.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with her today. I think she's been efficient. She's just gone right at these Hofstra batters and keeping the pitch count low and cashing in on some strikeouts.
Strike 3. Audrey Lowry in the zone.
Number 10,
Dalia Palacio stepping in now, 1 for 2 on the day. Doubled and scored in the 1st. Big cut for strike 1.
Yeah, and credit to Hofstra's offense. The runs, they have more run production today and last night against Baylor, but as the weekend's gone on, they have gotten more aggressive with their swings, more confident, and it's not quite paying off in the win column, but I do feel like it will benefit them as the season goes on, and they've come into today's matchup not intimidated or fearful in the least, and they've come ready to play, and it's not going their way, but I do credit the aggression they're showing at the plate today.
And as Adrienne Clark talked about when we spoke with her an inning ago, you want to see growth. This point of the season, that's what you want to see from your team. You want to be able to take things away from this weekend. Okay, we got better here, we got better here. And just in these 4 games, you've seen growth from an aggressiveness at the plate standpoint, from a willingness to take the bat off your shoulder and go try and make something happen. And it has paid dividends for them both last night as well as this morning.
Definitely, even them making the trek down here. I'm sure in part to, escape the cold, but also to get some really high-quality games in against the high-quality opponents. And they aren't shying away from these 2 ranked teams this weekend, and it will certainly pay off for them as they reach conference play and hopefully postseason play come later this spring.
Audrey Lowry is not shying away from the strike zone today. 8 Ks now on the day. The swinging strikeout of Palacio. And the first pitch to Butler is fouled away. She struck out in the 1st against Peyton Monticelli. Lined out to second base in the 3rd inning. Still looking for her first hit here in 2025. Quickly behind 0-2, and that has been maybe the biggest feather in the cap for Audrey Lowry today. She has been efficient.
Absolutely.
Just pounding the strike zone.
Pitch count is still under 50, and speedometer has her coming in at 66 miles an hour, so she's not taking it lightly to him.
McEnroe Marinas across the diamond for out number 3 of the frame, and we'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Oklahoma with a chance to run rule Hofstra if they can scratch across a run. 130-4 against Hofstra and Oklahoma to round out the day, as the Sooners with a 10-3 advantage. 1 run here in the 5th would put this game to bed. They run ruled Baylor yesterday 9-1, run ruled Hofstra 8-0 in 5 innings. They look for yet another run rule win today as Emmerling steps back into the batter's box. She was at the plate. I beg your pardon, now they're bringing in Maya Bland as a pinch hitter. 12, not 13 at the plate for the Sooners. Bland has pinch hit multiple times in the early stages of this season, and she does again here, facing the 1-1 from Fallon. In there for strike 2. Bland was an integral piece of that 2024 championship team. Checked her swing there, checked down to 3rd, and William Pellet says no swing 2-2 count. Bland was the top pinch runner for Oklahoma on that 24 title team. The speedster will get some more opportunities at the plate this year as well. Right to the second baseman, cancel, and there's one away. It'll be Tia Malloy once again here for Oklahoma.
Number 9, Tia Malloy.
We've seen Tia come into these games. Like I said, Coach Gasso likes to mess with the lineups a lot pretty early, and you see some players that continuously are getting their shot, getting their opportunity. Tia is one of those, and you know, she's just really vying for one of those starting spots. I don't envy Coach Gasso trying to make these lineups.
Lifted into left center field. Off the glove and over. I think that's going to be a home run to finish it. Yes, indeed. Off the glove of Chelsea Villar and out for a home run and a walk-off of sorts for Oklahoma as Malloy goes yard to finish off an 11-3 run ruling of Hofstra. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, the wind has been a friend or an enemy today, depending on how you look at it, but just keeps on carrying that ball and got a little assistance from there, out there from center field.
That is incredible, and the reaction from Emma Fallon. Really?
Yeah, you do feel for her. She worked really hard today, and it's a tough job keeping that OU offense at bay.
So Oklahoma, with their third run rule in as many games here at the Getterman Classic, finishes it off in 5 innings, 11-3 the final score. They will face Baylor in the final game of the weekend later on this afternoon. For Jordan Ostrike and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Mike Leslie saying so long from Waco. Game number 2 of the day, Baylor and Hofstra, coming your way in about a half hour's time.